Hi everybody, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, yeah, the Carnival Freedom had that spill and it kind of messed up their itinerary. I'll talk about that. We also have a bunch of ships in the Caribbean right now that are just skipping ports. They just can't get into ports because, as you know, right across, all of the United States, been hit by pretty severe winter storms. In fact, we got some snow in Florida. That's right, snow in Florida happened. Well, now you can imagine what's happening in the Caribbean, and I'll talk about that as well. We also have finally, another decision has come down in Bar Harbor. One of the 4 lawsuits brought against the town by a townsperson suing the town. And finally, that's been resolved. And we have another Edge class coming to Celebrity Cruise Lines. So first off, let's talk about the Carnival Freedom, and they had that spill that I talked about, and it was some kind of fuel. Still not fully explained what it was or what kind of fuel or etc. But they did clean it up. It is all gone. It didn't, they blocked it in, they knocked it in, they did all the environmental things they had to do. But the ship was supposed to leave at 3:30. It did not leave till around 11:30 that night. That's a heck of a delay heading out, and of course that's now affected their itinerary. But the good news is they're not going to miss any of the ports, even though it's only a 4-day sailing. They're supposed to go to Nassau and Princess Key. Well, instead of doing it Princess Key and then Nassau, now they are going to switch it around. Either they were going to go to Princess Key and then Nassau, or Nassau then Princess Key. I think they were supposed to go and have a sea day last, and then Princess Key, Nassau, and back with a sea day on the way back. Now they're going to go Nassau, Princess Key, and the sea day is the first. So it gives them time to get to Nassau. They don't have to go as fast. But of course, if you booked excursions, they're going to be switched around now. If you book through the cruise line, all that'll be fixed, and they'll try and rebook you or refund you if they can't be done. If you booked them on your own, yeah, you got to figure something out on yourself. But yeah, at least they're not missing ports. But a lot of people were a little upset because when you go till 11:30 at night, the shops aren't open, the casino can't open, etc. There are some things people like to do on a 4-day sailing, and on the whole first night, basically, you couldn't get into those shops or casinos, and that is a big part of cruising for some folks. Next, let's talk about the weather that's happening here in Florida, in the Caribbean. Well, we got some freakish, cold weather in Texas when I sailed out. We had cold weather in Florida, but the real problems right now for the cruise ships is the wind that's happening out there. Gale force winds are basically hitting Bermuda, they're hitting the Bahamas, and a lot of the places like the Perfect Day at Coco Cay, it's just so windy. The large cruise ships just can't pull into port. In fact, the biggest ship in the world, the Icon of the Sea, had to skip the Perfect Day at Coco Cay because it's just too windy. If you look, those size ships are like a big wall, and the wind is just pushing against that wall. No matter how powerful their motors are and how great of steering they can do with the pods on the bottom, it's just sometimes the wind is just too strong to risk going into a dock, and that's happened numerous times in the last couple of days. Many other ships have also reported having to skip ports because of the weather, especially those with tender ports, because if they don't have the big huge tender boats that come from shore and they're using the ship's tender boats, often those are just plummeted by high winds and they'll just skip the port completely. The winds are starting to slowly die down this week. Let's hope things can get back to normal going forward. We also have Celebrity Cruise Line has just announced that starting in 2028, they're hoping to have this new Edge class, going to be the 6th Edge class delivered. So I believe it goes in order from the Edge, the Apex, the Beyond, the XL. Which one am I missing? I'm missing one in there, but we're going to have another one. come out, and it's supposed to launch by 2028. It's been a very popular class ship with the Celebrity Cruise Lines. They are one of the most sought after in the fleet, and so yeah, good news that they're coming. They're also going to be asking for input from Celebrity Cruise Line passengers. What would they like to see on this new Edge class ship? You could put in your name. You could also try and put in a name for the ship. You could put in suggestions of what you'd like to see. Would you like to see a better seating area, for instance, in the back area instead of having like standing room only in some of the performances that go on back there? I know that's a big issue for a lot of people. You can put in your name, and Celebrity just might take your suggestion to heart. We also have Sidman. Mr. Sidman is one of the main contributors to getting cruise ships banned in Bar Harbor. Well, he wasn't very happy with the town council trying to redo things last year and make it go to a higher amount of passengers, but he is sued now and put in 4 different suits to the town council. Not only are they fighting the cruise ships and the businesses who don't want to have this limit come in, that now the town council is also fighting citizens who are suing them because they say it's not fast enough or it's hurting their business because they're going to make more cruise ships, etc. Well, we've had now 4 decisions. The final one has finally come down from the Chief Justice, and all 4 now he has lost. He has lost all 4 lawsuits against the town. The town has prevailed. The last one, he was looking for compensation, saying that the things that are changing and the slow launch out of, for instance, when they're going to start cutting to 1,000 passenger limit and the exceptions for some of them in 2025 and 2024 because of previous contracts, etc., hurt his business, and he wanted money, he wanted compensation about it, and he lost. So all these lawsuits and everything, now the town is paid and he's paid, but there's still lots of lawsuits to go. There are still the lawsuits coming from the businesses and the patrol board, like the people who do the pilot boats, etc. They have lawsuits coming from other towns who are saying possibility that might hurt their business. They have lawsuits coming from the cruise lines that are saying that maybe this is all this stuff is happening, and they are paying out money to lawyers, and so it's going to be a non-profit organization right now in Bar Harbor until all these lawsuits finally go eventually somehow probably to the Supreme Court, and we'll see what happens there. But yeah, the citizens suing the main guy, he has lost all 4 suits against the town. And finally, I just want to bring up, check out my Just Dawn channel coming up in either today or tomorrow in the near future. I just want to talk about some people I've met on board this cruise ship, and I thought that would be the channel to bring it up on, because it's not really news, it's not really a review, but I've run into an organization, about 40 gentlemen on board, and they portray Mr. and Mrs. Claus. Some of them portray elves. They are called the Lone Star Santas. They are some amazing guys and women and volunteers, and it's a non-profit organization that just helps out children in disaster relief areas and everything. And I've had the pleasure of sailing and talking and meeting with a bunch of them on this cruise. And so, yeah, check out my Just Dawn channel and find out a little bit more about these great guys and what they do. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.